you try to jump from that horse and run, you're going to break something.
My run and dismount days are over, darling. It's a long way down. This old man's gonna climb it slow.
You're racing across the field to me.
Taking lessons from my nephew. That one seemed worth trying.
It's effective.
Yeah.
I was worried about this trip, you know. I don't know why. It really worried me.
We had some trouble. I'll see the sheriff tomorrow and talk him through it.
You just got home. You're going to town already?
We all go to town. Miss you, sweetheart.
You too. You too.
Yeah. Morning.
Morning.
You want in here?
No. Just watching.
Not sure this is worth watching.
Oh, it's worth watching. After all these years, it's still worth watching. You could watch me too, I suppose. You know, it's all the rage now. Women shaven, their legs beneath their arms.
Yeah. Interesting fad, to be sure.
I wonder what that says about us as a species. I mean, it's not as if women were running a straight razor down their legs a decade ago. They invented a razor specifically for women when no need for one existed, and then invented the need, as if selling razors to half the population wasn't enough. What?
Didn't say a word.
But don't you find it curious?
I'm not curious. It's greed. That's it.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. What does that say about us as a species?
We've been married for 40 years.
44.
Okay, I'm rounding down to make us feel younger.
Well, that's not working.
And in all those years, you've never asked me a question that you did not have the answer to.
I have an answer.
I know.
Care to hear it?
I can't wait to hear it.
It'll be the thing that ends us. Greed will be the thing that kills us all.
I'm sure you're right. Now, what'd you really want to talk about?
Oh, nothing really. I just wanted to talk, and I wanted you to listen, and you did. I wonder if you know how rare that is.
Know how rare you are. Which is why it is a pleasure and a joy to listen to you babble on about utter nonsense.
It's not nonsense. One day women will be shaving between their legs because some razor company told them to. You watch.
I won't be there to watch. Breakfast?
Breakfast be lovely. Jacob. Jacob, what are you doing?
I was just wondering who this old man is staring at me in the mirror. When the hell did that happen?
Never seen that man before.
Finally, some clouds and maybe some rain.
We need rain, we just don't need it while we're sitting in this buggy.
We need rain. We ain't choosy about when God brings it.
Better bring it soon. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Shooting from this direction. Yep. Get out of the way! Get out of the way! No! No! Get out of the way! Son of a bitch.
Shouldn't have stopped.
They're mounting up.
Here they come.
Watch your ammo.
I'm a man of my word!
Run.
On that table, over there. There's scissors, top drawer, two pair, bring them, both of them. Or, through that door, on the left, there's fresh linen in a bucket, bring it here. Thank you. Here. Press these against the wounds, it'll stop the bleeding. Press hard.
Jake, you're gonna be fine.
Did you get them all?
One drove off. I'll send for the sheriff first thing.
No, Sheriff. I find out what they've done to me. They'll come for this place. The pigs, miners, the thieves. No, Sheriff. Sheriff. It's no use.
You're still talking. You're still breathing.
Honey.
I'll not quit.
Spencer must come home now. Get him home. Get him home.
What would you do? Oh, guide me, Mother Mary, guide me. Thieves have taken the cattle, but we're weak. We have no leader.
You be the leader.
people aren't worth another life. Can we afford to lose them?
It's only lives we can't afford to lose. No fighting. Till Spencer gets here. Let the cattle go.
I had abandoned all hope for you.
Ain't gonna get rid of me that easy.
I forbid you to die. Do you understand me?
Won't die. Too stubborn. Bring me Zane.
You're a liar. You're a fucking liar, woman.
I'll kill you where you fucking stand.
A liar.
Aye.
Care to prove it? Shall we go back inside and you can tell the sheriff the truth?
He's not in Wyoming. He's not anywhere.
How would you know? How would you know where he is?
No bank will let a woman carry a note. No government will transfer a lease for her either. Your little charade can only last so long.
When my charade is over, so are you. Men kill with bullets or a noose, which is to say men kill quick. Your fight is with me now. I kill much slower.
You don't have the army for this fight. Or the money. I have both.
I can't wait for you to meet my nephew.
We've met. The boy doesn't impress.
Not that one.
Guess you're gonna be nursing me back to health pretty high over my head.
Put it this way. There is no more debate about a generator. Or a clothes washing machine.
Pretty expensive nurse.
And you might want to lean on your cane for this one.
Don't say it.
Motor car.
Suppose there's no way I could kind of just ease into this modern age.
Yes, of course. I'll let you choose which one we get first.
Well, that's mighty generous of you. You find any more men today?
Fewer than I'd hoped.
Well, what we can't hire, I'll raise in a posse.
You leave all the fighting to the agents. I'm not going through that again.
It's not my intention to get shot.
Nor is it my intention to become a widow. So all those thoughts of justice in your head, they stay there.
They're blasting a mine right above this ranch's main water supply. They own the property to the north now, and to the south. Just squeeze what's in the middle. And what's in the middle is us. Justice would be a luxury. My concern is survival.
I know. That's why I did it.
Did what?
Don't be mad. I did it for you. How dare you give your back to me? After all I've given to you. It's not even justice. It's more petty than that. It's vengeance you seek. Never mind he'll be arrested in the morning. You'd rather put the bullet in him yourself. Then it's you in prison, and the ranch is lost all the same. You think it's you who suffered the most? How would you know? You were asleep half the time. Well, I bathed you and spoon-fed you like an infant. I wiped your ass like an infant. Well, I shoveled graves between unanswered prayers. You don't know what it is to suffer. Emma did. She suffered her way into the hole I dug her. Elizabeth knows it. Father in the ground, family gone, stuck in this house like a dungeon. Can you fathom the strength it took for that girl to smile again? If there is a line forming for vengeance, you are at the back of it. We've abandoned any desire for vengeance, even Jack, for you. I wonder if your pride can withstand the sacrifice of showing us the same courtesy.
Awful cold outside to have that window open.
Not in that room.
Can't make two at once.
Well, it seems they're embracing the sport of it.
We can hear you! You saved my life. I know it. I did not need to be told. It's not vengeance. It's preservation. You've been to New York. You've been to Boston. Now close your eyes and imagine those places if the cities weren't there. Do it. White sands stretching to forests of hickory and elm, taller than the buildings that stand there now. Meadows filled with bison and moose and bear, millions of salmon swimming up the East River to spawn, so thick you could walk across them. Now think about what's there now. A 13-mile island of cement with rivers of sewage running underneath it till they dump in the bay where salmon don't dare to swim. That's what they'll do to this place. Dam the rivers. Flood the valleys. Cut every tree that stands to build cities. This paradise becomes another concrete desert. I'm not going to kill them for what they done to me or what they done to John or what they're still doing to you. I'm going to kill them because the men who build cities always send men like Banner first. I do it for that child I'll never meet. I do it for the land. I do it for you. So that when you're laid to rest under the aspens, no one cuts them down, builds a city over you. I know how much you've suffered, and I thank you for it. It's their turn now. God damn it, it's their turn now. supper.
Just come back.
How's this?
All the lumps must be gone.
Well, I have much more respect for bakers than I did yesterday.
There's a measure of labour that goes into it. Got caught in the rain?
A little bit.
We're baking a cake.
I can see that. What's the celebration?
You coming home?
We do that every night. If you're gonna bake us a cake every evening, we're gonna need bigger horses.
What happened?
It's where he belongs.
Where does he belong?
In jail, awaiting a trial, where he will be convicted and sent to the gallows.
Thank you.
Where's Jack?
He's right behind me, putting up the horses. Dramatic little thing, isn't she?
It's like having a new puppy.
I remember when you were the new puppy.
No, you don't. It's the miner
Minor?
who bought the Strafford Ranch.
Get up here on the porch.
You're going to let that man up on our porch?
I prefer to shoot down on him, and I prefer you not to be in the way when I do it.
What a structure. Inspired by the lodge in the park, I presume.
Other way around.
Is that a fact? Same builder?
Don't know.
Cara!
There will be no violence here, sir. This is our home. Our home. Have you no decency whatsoever?
Well, I suppose that would depend on what you consider decent. Well, we've shown all our toys, Stuart. We can put them away now. I trust you will offer us the same courtesy.
Lower 'em, boys.
Your line of work appears to focus your attention on the season. Carving in the spring, branding in the summer, selling in the fall, and then surviving the winter. The future receives all my focus. Once a mine is producing, I think no more of it. I seek the next. Back east, every home has electricity, running water. 1 in 10 Americans owns an automobile. At the end of the decade, it will be 1 in 4. The world will be mobile. You know, they expect 130,000 visitors in the park this year. Can you imagine? In 30 years, cattle will not be the largest industry in Montana, neither will mining. Can you guess what it will be?
I don't care what it will be.
You should. It'll have a profound effect on your family. Tourism. More Americans live in cities than the country for the first time in this nation's existence. And they will come by the millions to experience this majestic place. And they won't want to leave. Texas has its oil boom, our boom will be land. And as the 2 largest landowners in the state, we stand to benefit handsomely. I was looking over the public records. You're one of very few ranchers who owns his land with no loan. Impressive. Especially with the collapse of the market since the war ended. I commend you, sir. You were, however, behind on your property taxes. Were you aware?
The end of the year is not here yet.
The payments are biannual, as you know.
That's not a requirement, that's an option.
We argue semantics, and not much of an option for a rancher who only gets paid in the fall. The point is, that first payment has not been made. So, I took the liberty of making it for you. Hefty penny you owed. As I'm sure you're aware, if I'm not repaid by the end of the year, the deed reverts to me.
We have done no harm to you. Why would you do this to us?
Because I can. I'm a businessman. The word decent doesn't apply to me.
He can do this? Can he do this, Jacob?